Israeli army struck two rocket launching sites in southern Gaza after a projectile was fired from one of them. Now, this was the third time in the last 2 weeks that Israeli forces struck targets in Gaza, contributing to tensions over a fragile ceasefire. Now, the Israeli military has also deepened its crackdown in the West Bank. On Monday, the IDF released a video of their operation against Palestinian militants in Jenin. The offensive comes a day after Israeli tanks rolled into the West Bank region for the first time in decades. Israel's intensified campaign in the West Bank has drawn sharp reactions, and the International Committee of the Red Cross expressed its deep concern over the impact on the civilian population there, adding that people were struggling to access basic needs such as clean water, food and medical care. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres urged both sides to avoid a resumption of hostilities at all costs. Speaking at the 58th session of the Human Rights Council in Geneva, the UN chief said that it was time for a permanent ceasefire and irreversible progress towards a two-state solution.
We are witnessing a precarious ceasefire. We must avoid at all costs a resumption of hostilities. The people in Gaza have already suffered too much. It's time for a permanent ceasefire, the dignified release of all remaining hostages, irreversible progress towards a two-state solution, an end to the occupation, and the establishment of an independent Palestinian state with Gaza as an integral part.
In a meeting with Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar, EU Foreign Policy Chief Kallas said that the bloc is watching the developments closely and cannot hide its concern over West Bank. Now, the comments came on a day when Franco-Palestinian member of the European Parliament, Rima Hassan, was denied entry into Israel on account of her anti-Israeli statements. Meanwhile, Friedrich Merz, who is all set to be the next German Chancellor after Olaf Scholz, has invited Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to visit Germany despite an arrest warrant issued against Netanyahu by the International Criminal Court, the ICC. A US-based non-profit has urged the ICC to investigate former US President Joe Biden, former Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, and former Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin for war crimes in Gaza. The non-profit has accused the trio of facilitating grave abuses through multi-billion-dollar weapons transfers, intelligence sharing, and diplomatic protection to Israel. The US does not recognize the ICC, but in fact, earlier this month, US President Trump imposed sanctions on ICC staff and accused the body of illegitimate and baseless actions targeting the US and Israel.